What's
poppin'?
poppin'? BHS Studios' first ever inaugural podcast. This month's game is Fury, picked by not yours truly. What's your name, Max? Sorry, I fucked that. Go ahead.
The one and only Maximus Lawrence.
Um,
Misspelled Lawrence.
Lawrence, lead programmer at BHS Studios. You're joined here with me, Ari, a 3D guy for BHS Studios, and we're really jumping all over this intro. We play a monthly game, and Max picked Fury for this month because neither of us had played it yet. And we're just here to share some thoughts on it. Talk about our experience as licensed game reviewers do, I suppose. So I'll kick it back to you, Max. What made you pick this game?
I asked Gabriel Dunn for the suggestions for quick but not too quick but not too long games. Which led us to about the time frame of about 6 to 8 hours is what I asked for. And he came up with a genius proposal of Fury, which actually I wanted to play back in like 2016 or whenever it came out.
What is this?
And then I forgot about it for about 8 years.
Fair enough. Well,
which is awesome.
It's a good pick regardless.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Spoiler alert.
It was a fun game.
It's pretty good. Yeah, and that's the episode. Okay. We'll see you next time.
Well, I've got many feedbacks.
Okay.
Many feedbacks.
Hit me.
First of all, I think when the game starts off, we have like a somewhat long cutscene.
Yep.
And this is my actually let's do the good things about the game. I think the good things about the game is that it's very satisfying in terms of gameplay. Everything's very very clicky, very responsive at times.
So responsive.
Yeah, and I think that's good. However, I think there are some points where, for example, the cutscenes are actually quite unresponsive in that it's just like you click the space button and you auto walk, which is of course the better option of the two, which is controlling your movement manually, where you like move and then when the camera cuts to another angle, you don't know which way you're moving. No, but it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, we should caveat that both of us played this on mouse and keyboard, which was not the intended medium, but
that's true. Is it that much better on console though, if you think about it?
I think so. I think if it snaps, then it's pretty intuitive. Like you just angle it the new direction that you're now traveling.
That's kind of true. But the thing is, if you keep holding your stick and then it switches camera to be like 180, that means you're going backwards. No, that doesn't make sense. Actually, I'm pretty sure the game keeps you moving in the same direction if it crosses over the camera, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But that problem is now when you're thinking I want to turn, it doesn't really make a lot of sense in your mind because now your controls are inverted.
I mean, it was... What do you think the best solution would be? Just forcing the player to auto walk with... Wait, did you say that there was an auto walk feature with the spacebar?
There was an auto walk.
I did not know that. That makes so much more sense. I think that's the solution to the issue, but I just did not know that was a feature. I tried dashing a couple times, but I did not try it for long enough to discover that specific.
Yeah, I think either that or make the cutscenes a little more interactive. I think the fact that they're just like you hold walk and then listen to a monologue by this one other character.
I don't know. I think
not what I'm looking for.
I think spacing out the action of the fights, because it is a boss crawler game like Titan Souls, and you don't... I feel like you don't want to just be teleporting from boss to boss. I think you do want some time to take in the environments. And I think forcing players to like interact on the way through might not be the best way to go about it.
But here's where I think they could have done a lot better, because in fights they have the mechanic of the quick time event where you spam your keys left and right every so often, right? Why don't we use the quick time events, but for the cutscenes? Not like super quick timing, just like have you press one button to continue. That would make the actual thing feel a lot better, I think.
But what happens if you...
Press a button to open a door.
Oh, right, okay. So not a quick time event, per se.
No, not a quick time event. Just the same idea of interaction.
Yeah, okay. That, I mean, that's reasonable. I personally didn't mind the space between, but to each their own.
And then it would also make sense, because then, in the fight, when you die...
Yeah.
And you still have a life.
Yeah.
It waits for you to press a button.
Yeah.
For you to get back up.
Yeah.
Not the mouse, by the way. Only a keyboard button. I think that would also fit well and nicely with the fact that if you're in a cutscene, when you click a button, it will continue, the cutscene or whatever.
Fair enough. I did just realize that I think we've ordered this a little off. I think we should describe what the game is to the average listener who may not have played the game before.
This is only for people who have played the game before.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
our thoughts.
So it's a... How would you describe it? A top-down hack and slash boss fighter.
Indeed.
That's also a bit of a bullet hell, I guess you could say.
I would say that it's a hack and slash crossed with a bullet hell.
Yeah, hack and slash
almost
bullet
entirely
hell.
captures it. But importantly, it's in a boss rush format where you only fight bosses the entire time. There's no wind down between, except for cutscenes for lore reasons. It was, and I sort of like that. I like not. I like condensing the devs' time into what is potentially some of the coolest parts of these type of hack and slash games, which is the boss fights, rather than if they threw in some goblins to fight in between each thing that you just steamroll with your eyes rolling into the back of your head. I think it's because I think with goblins or something really simple, it would still take you sort of brain power, or at least take you out a little in terms of you're still in it.
Yeah, you're not getting a break.
Yeah. Whereas with a cutscene, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm just flowing along to the next thing. It's nice,
and you get to revel in the victory of the boss fight you just had. So another thought I had while playing that I thought was really cool and felt pretty unique about this game is the way they manage the lives of bosses. But sort of feels like it sets you up to design a game in which a boss fighting game in which the protagonist doesn't need to hit the game over screen super often. The fact that you can quote unquote first try a boss without hitting a game over screen and it still feels satisfying, not like you've just cheaped out an easy fight. Despite the water guy, he was an absolute snooze fest. But everyone else, even when I got a single fight in without having to restart, it was still that push and pull that a satisfying push and pull that was a really compelling design pillar, and I don't think I've seen that done really at all. I suppose with Sifu a little bit, but that's in a different sense. That's more of a larger scale. Anyway, what were your thoughts on that specific mechanic?
I really liked the lives mechanic. I think it's pretty satisfying. It felt like it was kind of fair. At the start of the game, I thought the game was too easy because you 3 lives and you get a life back. Okay, you have 3 tries, that's fine. But then you get a life back each time you defeat a boss life as well.
Yeah, you're so right. I'm not explaining what I'm discussing. Anyway, this is growing pains, I suppose. Carry on.
But the thing about it is that oftentimes you'll get a point with, I think, these kind of any boss fight, right? Where you have just a phase, or at least with these kind of games where you have just specific attack patterns which repeat. And you always get to them, and something about that attack pattern gets you stuck. And really, these 3 lives, you'd think it makes it a lot easier, because as you lose lives throughout the fight, you get lives back. I think it doesn't change that much about the difficulty, because you actually, when you get stuck, it's oftentimes on the same thing, right? So it just gives you 3 tries at that thing instead of just setting you back, which feels a lot better.
It feels
a lot better.
It feels so much better than I mean that's an issue of a lot of long bosses in other games, right? Where you're getting up to a new section and you're like, fuck, I died at this section. Now I have to do parts A through G to get back up to H. And that's just an absolute brain melting tedium. And the fact that they cap you at 3 lives means even if you do die and restart and carry on, you're not going to be like extra stocked up on lives because you didn't drop any in the first couple phases. You're going to be back to the spot you were at before, but with just still the same 3 lives effectively. Maybe slightly more efficient than the 2 lives that you started at, but yeah, it felt much less like a war of attrition and much more like a back and forth of yours versus the opponent's skill, which was really, really satisfying and a very good feeling.
This isn't like a Lies of P situation where when you die you get sent back to like 3 kilometers away. You have to walk all the way to the boss fight. There's nothing on the way.
That shit is
then fight like 3 phases of the boss fight to get to the phase that you failed.
It's a really, really well condensed experience, cutting out the fluff and all that.
I think that mechanic was quite good.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. I was gonna move on to the next part, which is I think the parrying. Many good things to say and one bad thing to say.
Interesting.
Well, actually, one other thing. Did you know you can parry bullets? I didn't even realize that.
Yes, sort of. Actually, no, I don't think I did. I didn't until the very final fight.
I think it's a lot easier not to parry bullets, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, in general. But it's pretty cool that the option is there.
Yeah.
The thing about it, though, the parrying, really nice. Like, like if you get the parrying, like kind of in the range of the parry, but kind of on the edge, either too early or a bit too late, then you get that kind of
buffer?
Just a block. If you get it a bit closer to when the boss attacks you, you get a little heal.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
And then if you get it basically perfect, you get to do an extra attack where you do like a lot of the boss's health. Now that's the idea, but my problem is that when you get the perfect parry, oftentimes that doesn't feel that good because it's almost as good as just parrying it. Because when you get the perfect parry and you do the super attack that you do, like the crazy, like you get like a whole cutscene of you like slashing this guy, it doesn't actually do that much damage. It's just the same as a regular combo, which feels a little frustrating because when I get the perfect parry, it actually felt like...
Do you get health back from the perfect parry?
You do.
Yeah, okay.
You do. But you don't get a guaranteed 1 health heal. Whereas with a green parry, which is like good but not quite there, you get, I think it fills up 1 bar of your health.
Per hit?
Per perfect parry.
Whereas with...
Maybe 75%.
Whereas with the perfect parry...
It only completes if you have any missing. Like, it only completes one if it's like half full. Or something,
right.
You know? So it actually feels more punishing to hit the perfect parry than to just parry.
You would much rather get 3 or 4 notches of health than deal a little bit of damage and then knock them into the same phase.
And don't get me started on the Street Fighter boss. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
When you go into the final phase and you hit the perfect parry, it just puts you into a quick time event where if you succeed, you don't do any damage. You just get out of it. And if you fail, you lose like 3 health.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because why am I not rewarded for doing the perfect parry?
I think the point is like, that's... Okay, shall we skip ahead? We'll try and stay onto broad strokes before we get up to specifics, but I do have some thoughts on that boss as well. I do agree. I think that is a little frustrating, especially when your perfect parry where you get to do the slash attacks and stuff, does it really only do the same damage as... I feel like it might even do less damage than a charged melee combo, especially with the final, like, Fadoom.
Definitely less than the charged melee combo. If you get the full 4/ hit, I think it does slightly less than that.
Yeah, right. I do love the cinematics you get for it, though. Like, that alone...
They look pretty sick.
They are fucking badass. And even though I saw them a couple times within the same fight, it was nice. But
imagine you have like this animation of dropping a nuke on a guy and then he loses like 1 HP. That takes away from it.
Yeah, you know? I do agree. I think I agree with those points. There was another thought I had on the parry. 1 second. No, I don't got it. Okay, you keep talking. I'll keep thinking of it.
Yeah, this is like the sad state of the 500 kilogram bomb in Helldivers. You know, it's like back in the day, it was like crazy. You hit something and it's dead. But now you're playing on Helldive difficulty, and first of all, it's not like you're gonna hit something with the 500 kilogram bomb. It's like tiny, and then when you do hit something, it's like it feels like you're clipping it and it doesn't die. Crazy.
Thank you for buying me time. I remember what I was gonna say. It was that. I liked the parrying system. It was nice. The telegraphs were clean. Even when they came from the sky, it still felt defensible. And I did get the hang of that at some point.
You can block from the sky.
You didn't know that? Really?
Oh. No, I just dodged them always.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, when they make the sound effect, but it's from the sky, you can block that. Yeah.
Oh wow. It's very much a game where you learn by playing.
Yes.
Some things you can miss.
Yes, for sure.
Like I didn't know you could do the charge dash until Gabe told me.
Oh, I forgot about the charge dash. I never used the charge dash. I remember it in the tutorial now. But yeah, there was this attack on the second fight where she shot this massive arc. I thought you just had to run across the map with the dash because it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I was doing as well.
Yeah. So after you get the parry chain, the issue I do have with finishing the parry chain is it's difficult to know when you're supposed to fight back, because sometimes they pause for a bit and sometimes I want to get my licks in, but then instantly it's like, sorry, you picked the wrong time to attack and now they're going to counterattack you, and now they're going to skip out of the melee phase and going to go back onto their ranged attacks.
I actually like that.
You liked it? Okay.
Because it's not random. You can learn the attack patterns of the boss, and also you can tell once you've played against the boss enough where there's like a slightly longer window where you can hit them, whereas as opposed to when they're going to attack you again.
Yeah.
So actually, like, as you play the boss fight, you kind of learn that aspect.
That's fair enough. I'm just impatient, and I got frustrated with that mechanic a couple of times.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But also, all the bosses have kind of like a pattern for their attacks. You do like a 2-2-3 or something.
Yeah.
So you kind of learn that as well.
That's true. That's fair enough. You do definitely learn the attack patterns.
I think though, I think another thing with the boss thing where if you attack them, right, there are some bosses where much more of a metagame thing, but you can charge shot with the ranged gun, and that breaks their concentration and they go back to attacking you. So they never get the ranged attack.
Yeah. I remember that.
I think sucks. I think that's bad. Yeah. Also, like, you can chase bosses around, keep melee attacking them, like certain bosses. The ones where you have a small area where you fight, and that can always force them into meleeing you, because if you keep chasing them and keep meleeing them, they're going to block. And they get the block counterattack. And then if you parry that, you can instantly do the melee attacks because you parried something. So you get a reward. Which I think that also is bad. Because I think you should be forced to interact with both parts of the game, the bullet hell and the like hack and slash aspect.
It was cool them splitting up each phase into the bullet hell version, upgraded bullet hell, then an upgraded melee version, and then that back and forth until you've slain them. I thought that was pretty sick.
And I think it's good as well because it's particularly clear that the second health bar of the boss is going to be the melee.
Yeah.
And the first is bullet hell mixed with a little bit of they go in for a few attacks every so often.
For sure.
Onto my...
Yeah.
I'd like to make my horrible complaint about the PC gameplay experience.
Okay.
The default is you dash towards the mouse.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Have they played a PC game before? A PC hack and slash? That has never been the case.
Oh no.
Show me one game where that is the case.
Going off.
But I found out after finishing the game that you can change that setting.
I asked that. I was telling you, Max. I was like, there. Check the settings. That sounds
keep in mind, I have not seen the setting. This was when Tate Fairhurst played it on his own.
Doxed. Okay, carry on.
That's right. Where does he live?
No, good.
But so I think that is ridiculous. Not only that it's not like the most
I agree that it's ridiculous.
Available option.
It is ridiculous that you did not find
across the entire screen.
Max,
like you open the settings and it like bounces towards you. Like it should zoom in and out.
I think this is sounds like a major skill issue.
Like massive flashing red light above this button. Okay.
Skill issue. In you not using your eyes.
A voice. I want a voiceover directing my mouse towards this button when I open the settings.
I sympathize in the sense that I could see why you'd want this to be the default. It does definitely make a bit more sense. But maybe
there is no but in that statement.
No.
That is correct.
Here's the but. But maybe they wanted playing on PC to feel horrible, so that it forces you to go and unwind your Xbox 360 controller and plug it in. You lazy sod.
That is crazy. This is like a PlayStation sponsorship deal going on.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
And they did not declare it.
That's a good point.
Not us, the game.
Oh, okay.
Sponsored.
Wait, what do you mean it's PlayStation sponsored?
Well, they want you to get the other controller, a PlayStation controller.
Oh, true. They use
actually.
What picture did they show you? Gamepad. What picture gamepad? I don't think it was a PlayStation.
I know that the arrows were on the bottom left.
That's both PlayStation and Xbox.
Make it make sense. But they have ABC, I believe.
ABC.
Not X.
Yeah, so it's just generic Coles brand. What?
I'm pretty sure Xbox controller is ABC.
No, it's not. It's ABXY.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it's C.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's... doesn't matter.
Yeah, anyway. This is levels of semantics that
hubris,
we do not need.
However, yeah. So the dashing experience is horrible because on the bullet hell aspect, which is like the prime dashing experience is played out, is where you have to be ranged attack shooting the boss. And now keep in mind the way that the mouse moves in this game is horrible because it's locked in like a controller, like a PlayStation controller, where you have like a certain anchor on your character and you move your mouse around that in a circle, which is, by the way, also crazy. I don't know who came up with that.
Because that's how the game was made for Xbox. For controllers, gamepads.
It's like not a single person on the dev team, which was like 70 people apparently at the end, like ever played on PC. Like
what the alternative that you're suggesting, I think, is having your mouse being an aim towards where you're looking.
Yeah, well, wherever the mouse is, just let me move my mouse like it normally.
But
I think, by the way, I think this game was developed on like a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, like they had like their entire dev team like on like PlayStation building the game.
You're saying they ran Blender through PlayStation.
Exactly, like Unity, Unreal.
They were placing the rocks and trees using a PS4 DualShock controller.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like coding would be especially difficult. With a controller.
You have the on-screen keyboard. Yeah, that's kind of true.
Maybe we should shoot a message. Check it out. Yes. Okay. Hit me.
I'm gonna keep complaining. Also, I think all the controls I mean, actually, not that bad. Not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think F kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have made more sense to make it like C or something though.
Really?
I'm just a bit of a crazy man. Yeah, I like C better because then I can use my
Oh, your thumb.
thumb. You're never gonna parry and dodge at the same time. That doesn't make sense. Whereas you might want to move to the right while parrying or dodging.
Yeah, potentially. I think it's just more common that people use F and E for interactions, but E is
Sadly correct.
E is less for interacting with the world, but more for inventory. So
Also, can you tell me whether is the right click anything when you're in the bullet hell version of the game?
What?
Does the right click do anything?
Shooting.
Oh no, the right click's the shooting. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking the left click's the shooting.
Yeah,
Because you can slash
Yeah,
still.
you
Yeah.
can still slash.
Because I'm just annoyed because middle mouse is kind of annoying to me.
Middle mouse is kind of annoying.
Which is used for the charge shot.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty useful.
Yeah.
In the game.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It also felt like the game was designed for you to kind of learn the best strategies against the bosses. You know, like in terms of, because there's a lot of tools that I feel like I didn't really end up utilizing. Like the charged melee, I almost never charged melee.
I charged melee, maybe a little too much, because I got punished for it a couple times. But it is kind of crazy if you know the opponent's timings like well enough, and you can get a red charge in, dude. You can do maybe 70% of their health bar with one combo.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of gnarly.
Okay, I literally did not use charge throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the charged slash as well?
Oh, I didn't.
You can hold the slash.
I didn't do the charge slashes very often because I felt like I kept getting punished for them. We're talking bullet hell mode, right?
You can do it in either.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But I didn't use it in either.
Yeah,
anyway.
sorry, I didn't use it in either. I stopped using it as soon as I got punished for, because I thought it was a teleport, and then I kept getting hit by bullets. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna shoot the guy.
Yeah. But it's actually better than you might think because you can charge while dodging.
Okay. Oh,
so
you can dodge while charging. Yeah. I mean that's better. When I said the 70% thing, that's for when you're holding right click in the dual mode.
Yeah. I know. But I think like the fact that you have a lot of options. You have right click to shoot. Then you have left click to slash. You can hold left click for charge slash. You can do middle mouse for the charge shot, which you can charge to varying degrees. And you can also parry apparently in bullet hell mode. It feels like all these options available, they want you to use these different things for the bosses, learning what they actually are good at and so on.
Yeah.
But I think what I ended up doing is I'm just gonna
do what I do best.
Keep right click shooting this guy until he gets into melee, and then I'm gonna parry block him 4 times and then do the full combo.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might. I mean, it depends on what kind of game you're going for. If you're going for more of something like Doom Eternal, where you want the players to be utilizing all their tools at all the times, maybe making certain moves like literally gated to do a charge slash, or making a certain move like your charge shot is the only thing that can pierce this type of shield, or stuff like that. But I think their decision was more just, we want to make a game that flows and give you some tools and you can use whatever you want. Like, neither of us used charged dash and we beat the game. Like, it feels much more I don't know how to put it.
And unnecessary,
I think
strategic in nature, which I feel like this game is a lot more.
Yes, it's more casual than strategic, I guess I'll say.
Well, I wouldn't say casual. I would say it's more so that you kind of muscle memory. I feel like almost everything becomes muscle memory. Like, you feel that the boss is gonna attack you now. You feel that they're gonna have 3 attacks and so on. You know, you don't actively think about it.
No, I agree. I'm more talking about the choice of giving you a bunch of tools that you don't necessarily need all of. You're not making tactical decisions as far as,
that's true.
I need to use this, I need to use this, I need to use this because it's the most optimal. It's more just getting into the flow of it, getting comfortable with whatever you use. Yeah. Branching away from gameplay for a minute, I did really like the environments. I did really like the 3D stuff. It was really... I was impressed with the amount of set pieces that they squeezed out of... How many fights? 12 fights? It felt like every fight was quite distinct in setting, which was really... I think was really cool. And the spaces you walk between the arenas, there are some really cool set pieces. Oh, and which plays into the music as well. The music, like the whole OST, was really good. I'll probably download it.
I quite like the theme,
Mm-hmm.
and I quite like the environments.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything played into each other quite well.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have one piece of feedback, which I think the animations, in a way, made no sense. Because I think when you perform the perfect parry,
Yeah.
I think those animations are really good.
Yeah.
They're like super fluid,
Yeah.
really good. And then you get that stark contrast to when you see your character walking in a cutscene.
Yeah,
And it looks super wrong. I don't know why.
Is it okay when you hold spacebar though? Because our whole thing of having 8 directional movement in the cutscene is really creepy. How you have your character like walking off kilter because the camera isn't pointing down the corridor perfectly. Then you have to like make a little adjustment and then keep doing that until you get to the end. Like, but what was the holding spacebar feature better? I just didn't know.
Don't quite remember. I think
Did you use it
was
much?
not that much better.
Okay.
No, okay. Even the off kilter thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think that the animations looked wrong.
Yeah, no.
Like when you're walking.
You are a little bit right. The walk cycle between the cinematics, I saw the slightest amount of knee popping, which was kind of strange. I thought, like, it's the most seen animation in the entire game. I was just surprised to see that. So when he takes a step, it looks like the rig is slightly coming to its extremity, which really, really is a tiny bit jank. It's not like RE levels of bad as far as animation goes, obviously. But I do agree there was a little bit of that uncanniness. I'm forgetting now if it felt a bit floaty. I don't know. I could be making up this now.
There was one point
Yeah.
where I noticed, which is to be fair, not in the cutscenes, it's in the game, because when you get downed,
Yeah.
I don't remember, but like some of the get up animations, like zoom in the camera.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I think actually almost all of them.
Get up.
When you click to get
yes,
up
yes,
after
yes,
you die.
yes. Those are the cutscenes
and then-
for regaining a stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I noticed that my character was literally floating above the ground, ever so slightly.
Yeah, right. That's fair
But-
enough.
Which is like a small thing.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Whatever. In the macro scale of things.
Yeah.
But I think also, I mean, this is a lot harder to fix. I think the animation of when you're moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're standing to moving
Mhm.
is like an instant snap.
Yeah.
Which I feel like could have been a lot better with like tweening or something,
Yeah.
some sort of blending.
Maybe a little bit, but I mean,
I don't know. What's 2016? That's pretty recent.
wherever we see these like little flaws and such, you genuinely do just see a development team who is picking their priorities, and their priority wasn't to maximize the in between of moving to stationary to back to moving, obviously.
That's true.
So yeah, it ultimately is sort of pick your battles to a certain extent. But yeah, I you can still levy criticism and stuff and feedback, I suppose. Would you call it feedback after the game's out? I don't know. But critique. Yeah, critique. And I think it's just a good mindset to have when criticizing. I guess I don't know, because games, especially tight budgeted things, And the amount of work you could do on a game is sort of infinite. I don't feel it's the exact same with other art forms. Maybe I'm very biased, but I think it's just because there are more moving pieces. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure that's like often said about movies, that with the final cut.
Yeah,
is
that's
just
true.
What,
That's true. I also think there are a lot of moving parts in a film, whereas like painting and writing and like all of these are much more solitary, single discipline.
Well, I don't know about writing, but painting, if you're drawing one picture, I think certainly is capped. I think with writing, you can probably keep writing.
Yeah, you can. No, yeah, I think I probably just didn't think that through. You definitely can polish anything to the nth degree, but I think when it comes to a project that has so many disciplines in it,
I think
budget
games a super feature creep word, like super common.
Yeah.
So feature creepy.
Feature creep,
but
susceptible.
Feature creepy, I like it.
Feature creepy.
But yeah, I was just surprised that they were like, I looked at the credits and it was never ending, and I thought there was like a lot of people,
big team. I wonder how long.
Which I think them. The environment.
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, there was so much stuff.
The environments were awesome.
I find it strange that they locked one of the bosses, which I feel like for this game is such a major part of content, behind the end.
So I think I've figured out why that is the case. I think when you make the decision to like go back, spoilers, big spoilers from here. I guess if you're still listening and you don't want to be spoiled, too bad. But near the end of the game, there is a pretty wicked twist, and that reveals your character to be a robot who's been sent to Earth to like assimilate it to your robot colony or whatever. And that's why you were like chained up above in space. And we go back to the mothership, and big mothership says, do you want to go back and finish the job and raise Earth? And you have the decision to say yes or no. I suspect if you accept it and say, yes, I'm going to go back and destroy all that shit, then the like leader of the humans fights you. And that
I've seen both endings.
Oh, really?
The game just ends. Yeah.
The game just ends? Oh, what?
You get a cutscene.
Oh. Where's the flame then? That's weird.
Everything gets destroyed. No.
Yeah. He's called the Flame.
Oh, I think that's just DLC or something.
Oh, weird. Interesting. Okay, never mind. When you decide to not destroy the Earth, you then fight the Star, which is the big mothership fight, and that one was brutal.
Hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say.
Now, metagame strategy: spam the laser, really OP.
I didn't
like you killed the guy in like 8 lasers.
How long do you charge your lasers?
You just spam it, click it as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
The difficult part is doing that while dodging, because you're dodging towards your mouse cursor.
Yes, which you didn't figure out. Were you still dodging towards your mouse cursor at that point?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, rough part, but oh well.
Oh well. The environment. Yeah, that's probably enough for the environment. I mean, they all looked really good, and the world's feature was cool.
I mean, I think we got to the story. The story, I think, was okay.
Yep.
Now, personally, not a big fan of cutscenes with monologuing characters.
Yep.
I think in a way it's a bit more calming to the boss fight. It's a good contrast.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel attached to the world.
I wasn't attached to the world, but I liked the hype that it brought, like the monologues about the character you're about to fight. I liked that.
That's true. But I found that there was a bit of I think that like you're supposed to consider what you're doing, because like it's supposed to paint you as an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Potentially,
and I didn't really feel that.
No, I definitely I don't think I felt a whole lot of. I mean, look, I sat for the song. I think her name is for a solid 30 seconds. Like, is that not enough for my character to... The woman who asks you to not fight her.
I attacked her straight. I
away.
Pressed auto walk.
Yeah,
I pressed
nice.
auto walk to the end, and then she just started fighting me.
Sick.
Which is also really fun.
Yeah, that is good. There is an achievement for making peace with her, I think. So if you sit there,
you can make peace with her?
I think if you sit there long enough, you can. I saw an achievement anyway, which is pretty novel.
Yeah, but I think I didn't really feel bad, and also all these people felt pretty evil. And, why I think this, why I think this is supposed to be an important part of the story, is the very last boss before the very last boss.
The very last boss before the very last boss. Are you talking about
the one before the cutscene?
The snow lady.
The one right before the cutscene. Yes.
Yeah.
I think by far the worst fight in the entire game.
Yeah.
Super cringe.
I thought it was a lame fight, but the ending to that fight was kind of sick. Where she's like, please don't kill me. And you're still in the duel mode. You're still in the 1v1 mode. But she's so weak and so slow and so useless. And so you just feel like this monster who's about to slay them on their way out.
That's the thing, though. That's why I didn't like it. Because at the end, I just felt like, okay, I guess I'll just kill her.
Yeah,
like, I didn't feel anything.
No, that's fair enough. I think...
But I knew that I was supposed to. And I felt like that was not done very well.
Okay, fair enough. I liked the desperation in the final fight, the very last spot of the final fight. But I agree the final fight was not super fun. And I was very happy to find out that wasn't the final fight. Because the actual final fight was crazy and really sick. The intro cutscene and everything.
I think they should have made the bullet hell phase so much harder. They should have made an actual epic phase for the snow lady.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Because I think the actual fight was so incredibly not only easy but also like it just felt meaningless when you get to the final stage and she's just super weak. I think it would have been a lot cooler if there was like a crazy bullet,
as in a proper final stand.
Yeah,
it feels like a lot of the other fights had proper final stands, whereas she sort of didn't.
Yeah, she just died.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, the story was I liked the hype ups to your coach talking you into the ring. I thought that was pretty awesome. I think the analysis of this is just random, but. The programmer lady, how she has her bots like scanning you and stuff. It was pretty cold where you have his stats popping up on screen. It's like he can run at like 600 Ks an hour or something like that. That was like, damn, this guy's sick.
The architect was crazy. Yeah. This is crazy stats.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought the story was minimal, and then the very end. Like I said before, recontextualizing the whole story was really awesome. I really enjoyed that element of it. Yeah.
I think the final reveal was good.
Yeah. And then getting to make that choice, like you didn't get a lot of choice, but picking that final choice is cool. Did you go for the save the world first, or did you go to?
No, I destroyed the world.
Yeah. That's what I did with Cuphead. Because, like, I mean, I know I'm just going to get, like...
Whoa, spoilers once again. My God.
That game is, like, exactly the same length. Look, you get up to the devil, and he offers you a deal.
Don't.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, okay, that's all. Yes, thank you.
That's it. I feel like that's
it.
Yeah, Cuphead's... You don't play Cuphead for the story.
I think that's how the game starts, actually. That's the whole thing.
The inciting incident.
You're in debt, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Big fan of that, by the way. Big fan of being in debt. But okay. It's cool. I think also the fact that you destroy the world being the easier ending is cool. It's kind of artistic. That it's much harder to do the right thing.
Yeah. No, I like that.
kind of base, but I want to have another boss fight. So like, you should put a guy there anyway.
Where do you find the flame? Is the flame literally in the extras menu?
There's a DLC,
but we didn't pay for it.
Yeah, there's just a DLC.
A free DLC?
You can find him. No.
Oh, and the whole time, sorry, story-wise, the whole time I was playing thinking, I'm going to kill this purple rabbit. This is the final fight. Obviously.
That's so real.
I'm thinking, like, this guy's going to be like, oh, yeah, thanks for getting me out. And then you say, no, and that's the only thing your character says as the fight starts.
It's like a Destiny thing where it's like, no, not on my watch. Where your guardian finally speaks after 6 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of real.
But we didn't fight the purple rabbit man. But I think you fight him in the paid DLC. I think that's the case. And
sure.
Yeah, you get to orphan his kid. Apparently, I guess. Do you remember in the final scene, like the cutscene? He's like holding the hand of his daughter or whatever. As he sees like something fly off, remember? Anyway, I don't know why we go back to kill him. Like we decided to save the Earth.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of a little evil.
He is. What was up with that world without a boss? You just walk through this spiral staircase, and there's like this.
What?
And I'm gonna call him Bernard because that's what the level is called, where the DLC level. I'm not sure if it's him, but there's this level where you're walking through this portal and then you get into the spiral staircase and Bernard's like, don't worry about this one. I took care of it. Sometime consider it on the house or something like that. I don't know.
I might have I missed that, I think, because I was like, wow, what the hell? I have to press space twice.
Wait, do you just tap space once and then it does the auto walk?
And then just auto walk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That I
like,
wish I knew.
This one's like at least 10 TikToks instead of 5.
God damn.
I do remember the spire.
Yeah, I just don't. I
must have missed the
was
line.
Did they cut a boss? They might have cut a boss. You know what I mean? In development.
Maybe.
And they were just like,
That's
we
true.
made the environment. Let's just
I remember
keep
there was
it.
like 11 levels from the start or something.
And 10 fights. Yeah. Oh no, there are 9 fights. Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's the story. Yep. It was a serviceable story. Cool twist ending. Recontextualizing the story. I think I agree with some of the criticisms of like it didn't super challenge your moral code or whatever, but at the same time I'm sort of like, it's a hack and slash bullet hell. I don't know how much I need a demand of its writing, I suppose.
That's very true.
But the cinematics definitely did hype up the fights. Okay, sound and music. I loved the soundtrack. I'm already a fan of Carpenter Brute's stuff. So their songs were a easy win for me. What do you think?
I definitely liked the soundtrack. It was quite good. I think it fit the game quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was very focused on the parry.
Yeah.
I didn't pay much attention.
The sound effects were all very well done. It was...
Yeah, that's for sure.
The player feedback was awesome.
Very clean. I think... another thing about the final boss. She keeps running away and she keeps saying, don't do this. Don't do this. And I just thought that was like way too much talking.
Right.
Like that boss talked way too much.
Right. The very last one.
It was like begging for her life for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, at some point, surely you just like lock in and focus on like winning the fight rather than like, no, don't do it. It's like, this guy's probably gonna kill you after you've begged him to stop stabbing you with a knife like 7 times. You gotta fight back.
Like, you see, I got a purpose here.
Exactly.
Okay. You gotta less talking, more doing. Yeah.
Man of action. the final fight, regarding sound effects though, was a little glitchy. Did you have this? I had so many sound effects that were not illustrated whatsoever in the very final fight. It might be something to do with my, I don't fucking know what audio drivers. It was weird. Like I would be shooting a double charged laser, and it didn't make a single sound after the like second charge.
I don't quite remember.
You don't have it there? Yeah, it was just a couple weird little things like that, like certain attacks of theirs not making any sound, and like, but that was the only fight that happened. So that definitely could have just been budget issues where they didn't get to. I wonder how many people missed out on that very last fight, because I was so close to like Alt F4ing after the like during the
It
credits.
So
The long credits.
You can't do that if there are that many people working.
Yeah.
On the game.
It's
I like the part where you're walking.
the walking and just cool. Like raising hell was fucking awesome. And it
but like don't restrict me to just walking. Make me run. Like let me do the.
But that's what they they let you after, right?
At the end, but like not until that point.
Yeah, but oh yeah, and if you walk too far, then it fades to black. That's right. And then it fades back or cuts back. I don't remember. Yeah, running around. I was just having fun running around, burning the grass. That's how I found the final fight. I was just like doing some last minute exploration. Yeah, sound and music was great. The cinematics were good. The difficulty. So Max, just for the viewers, really quickly, could you clarify how long this game took you to start to finish?
About 2 hours and 25 minutes.
That's incorrect. I'll show you his. If you direct message me anywhere, I'll show you his Steam logs, and it took him an entire.
Sorry. But this includes my attempt at the difficulty. So really, you will never know how long it took me.
5.5 hours to beat. What's this? A 3.5 hour game? What? Or was it 6? No, I'm being a dickhead. So yeah, the recommended playtime was something like 7 hours, 6 hours, and I was just going to ask which bosses do you remember beating first, like without any resets?
I think half my time was spent on the shields boss.
Which one?
And the second boss.
The
guy who reflected shots with his shield.
Oh wow, interesting.
I think, and then I did the swamp boss first try.
Yeah.
I did the wing woman. I forgot her name.
First try.
That was also first try.
Oh, I had to reset on her. She was kind of crazy. Wait, maybe I'm not. I don't remember. But yeah, there were a couple that were pretty difficult. I think the time guy was probably one of the harder jumps in difficulty for me.
Yeah, the time guy. I spent most of my time on the time guy, the second boss, and I think the Street Fighter.
So regarding the Street Fighter, I know you said you really disliked that perfect parry thing, but at the same time, I think the whole fantasy of this is your shadow clone version of yourself, and he is just as, if not more powerful than you. I felt was pretty neat. And sure, not getting the free damage off the perfect parries is a bit frustrating, but I think the fact that was the exception to the other fights made it okay and made it cinematically interesting.
I think it was quite a cool boss fight. I liked it. I did not like some of the parts or the mechanics. I think it's a really good choice to make it deal like 5 trillion damage every time you miss the parry.
Yeah.
I think it was a good choice because not only like when you're parrying, you're also healing.
Yeah.
So by default, I think the fact that you have to parry to win the fight and there's no other real obstacles, I think it was probably my second favorite fight, or maybe the most favorite.
Oh, really?
I think
the I think it's called The Edge.
The Street Fighter guy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's awesome. Damn. I really liked I really like that fight as well. Maybe I think that's the one that I reset the most times on, like game over screened, because yeah,
100%.
The Street Fighter mode was pretty brutal, having to dodge backwards and forwards simultaneously to like stay in. Excuse me. To stay in synchronicity with his flame attacks, AoE attacks, was pretty difficult. And yeah, like you said, the amount of damage he dealt on a failed parry was pretty brutal.
I think the one thing that really caught me off guard was whenever he would do the parry thing where he would go, ah.
Yes, yes. Wait,
that kind of like set me back.
Where he held it for a split second, and it's like, no, I have all this muscle memory. Play into it.
Yeah, but I think after that fight, any melee fight was just so free, so easy, just because I've gotten so good at parrying, just as a reaction. I really like that fight, though. That was super cool.
Yeah.
I think either that or the knight fight are my favorite.
The knight with the shield.
Yeah.
The guy with the kid. Another person you orphaned.
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. I liked if you shoot a charge shot at him, he just like instantly reflects it back at you. You take the damage. I don't even know. Maybe I could dodge it, but yeah, he was.
But you see, with that guy, you should charge shot him when he's about to do the like giga beat.
Yes. Yeah. No,
that kind of just ruined the entire.
Yeah, I did exploit that. That made it pretty not negligible. What's the word? I'm forgetting. But yeah, he was a cool fight. He was pretty cool. I think the chain that opening fight was pretty good. What do you think of the tutorial? Because I think a tutorial is a difficult thing to get right.
Yeah, I think the tutorial was quite good.
Mm-hmm. Serviceable.
I think it very much did the learn by doing very, very well.
Yeah, I agree. Where that is the first fight you do. The second,
I think the tutorial was very good. I think you could have spanned it out across multiple fights, but considering the scope of the game, maybe not.
That's a good point.
I just didn't really like how there's so many mechanics.
Yeah, there are a lot of mechanics.
And it's all condensed into
to pick up. Like I said, I basically forgot about the dash charge attack.
Charge dash. The fact that you can charge your... I don't think it was even explained that you can charge your attack.
Which one? Oh, they didn't explain the charged weapon in the dual mode, but
yeah.
I think that's okay to figure out by yourself.
I never knew that existed until I finished the game.
Oh, really? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I just found out about it because I'm like, I want to shoot this guy while he's doing his stuff in the dual mode. But then it did that.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, I guess. Yeah, I think it would have been better to split that up across multiple fights, perhaps. But then you would need like a much less of a big boss fight that this game is kind of, pushing.
What do you mean?
Because like with the jailer, it's like a proper boss fight.
Yeah.
Even though it's a tutorial boss, it's still a proper boss fight. It's got six stages or whatever. And I think that's that's good. But I would like it to be across multiple fights. But then you can't have big boss fights because that would be way too.
I mean, you could split it across two. That's okay, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Just some of the more complex stuff onto the strap would be maybe have been fine, especially because she has that undodgeable dash attack.
I think I had another funny thing is like when the strap tries to ranged attack, since the map is so big, I chased this thing around the entire map, like all the way around this big circle, and at the very end she just gave up and just like let me attack her, which was really funny because I could have done that and spent like 6 trillion hours, and it would have been a lot easier.
Oh, you were just chasing her and trying to catch up with her?
Yeah, she was really quick.
Yeah,
but I was quicker.
And so you get like one hit in and then keep chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think, one thing that I don't like, that this game doesn't do that well in some fights, some specific fights, is the fact that the best strategy is sometimes really boring. Like with the Time Lord guy, where he would have all his shields. The best strategy is to just charge shot away, because every time you shoot, it makes a bullet that shoots back.
Yeah.
But with the regular pistol, you're shooting like a big volley of bullets just constantly, which makes it like a proper bullet hell when it gets reflected. But with a charged shot, it just shoots one bullet back, and it does the same damage, if not more.
Yeah,
to shoot the charge.
That
shot.
probably was an oversight, and an oversight that I completely missed because I was playing the bullet hell the entire time.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the first 2 times I did it, I just charge shot it all the way through because I was like, I just thought that's funny because it's the easiest strategy.
Yeah.
But then it kind of got boring because it's just like I'm just AFK waiting for the charge shots to get through.
That would take so long.
So I just played the bullet hell anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think it's bad to require the player to make their own fun in that situation.
I agree.
Bad design
I think pushing players towards the fun. I genuinely think that was probably just an oversight. Similar-ish oversight to the sword and the shield guy being able to interrupt his devastating attack. But
yeah, for sure. Although I think that is not as bad because, in a way, I think it pushes more towards the strategy game that I thought kind of would.
Yeah, that's true.
With all the different moves you can do.
That's true. Potentially. Yeah. There were a couple fights that were... The difficulty scaling felt relatively good.
I don't know. I think that's not true.
There were a couple fights that just felt really, potentially easier than the previous one.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the scale, the fishman.
At times, it didn't make any sense. Yeah, the fishman was so much easier
than the time guy.
2 boss fights.
Yeah, then both the other fights.
I think the strap and the time guy both are harder than the fish guy. And then I think the
hand, is that the shield guy?
Yeah, the shield guy I think was appropriately.
Yep. The song,
I think it was
she was brutal. The angel lady I found to be pretty difficult.
I found that was actually very easy.
Interesting.
And it could have been placed earlier.
Interesting. The programmer lady was kind of all right.
I think it was fine. Yeah. I think the difficulty scaling across the different boss stages is kind of off though.
Oh.
Because I think the fact that you're chasing the architect, the programmer lady, all the way around the boss fight makes it so boring for the first 3 phases because they're so easy.
Yeah.
And the boss fight takes so long because you have to wait for her to show, then you have to run all the way to the platform where she is sitting while dodging to cover.
Yep.
So I think that aspect was actually kind of really annoying. So I don't know how you could do that while maintaining the quick gameplay aspect of Fury. I think that was it didn't fit very well. I think the last few stages were so much harder.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I really liked some of those last few stages, especially when she went full invis. That was sick.
That was super cool.
That was. She had some really, really cool moments, and some of dodging her one-shot sniper rifle shots was pretty fun. In the one-on-one, when it was cross map, it was sort of. They made it quite forgiving for good reason, because if a one-shot sniper is unforgiving, you're just like, fuck this game. That is.
I think. And it's they made it incredibly forgiving because not only was it really slow, but also there was so much cover across the map. Sometimes I blocked it not knowing I blocked it.
Yeah.
It's just
because she's
I got behind cover.
Programmed to shoot as soon as you're behind cover, or
which I thought was a really good change because imagine you're like, I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna go behind cover.
Yeah, it
saves you some time.
Yeah,
saves you some time.
But maybe reducing the amount of cover there is over the levels could have been
that
neat.
Entire stage is not very interactive in general. It's super easy. You're just waiting to get to the 1v1, basically. Yeah. Which is lame.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, next is the Edge, who we've talked about, then the Beat, who we've talked about. Did you want to talk more about the first half of the bosses, or carry on?
I don't know. I think the first the two bosses after the tutorial boss are so much harder than almost any other boss. And not almost any other boss,
Yeah.
but I think that for the point in the game that you're at, I think they're unnecessarily difficult.
It's difficult to tell how much is our comfortability. Like, I wonder if they playtested other boss orders. I wonder if they playtested and putting the scale earlier was really difficult. Maybe it's just a matter of fact that because
you got past one of them, you get so much
better. Exactly. I that might be the case. I'm not sure what playtesting looks like, but would be interesting, because this is the kind of game where you can't have repeat playtesters whatsoever. You just have to get new playtesters.
Yeah.
And I also saw in the credits, it looked like there were 5 beta testers. Was that? Am I going crazy? That I have to have been going crazy.
Don't remember.
But I thought I saw that, and I thought that looked a little strange for a company with 30 developers or something.
Are you saying that's too many?
5 playtesters? I thought they would have had hundreds.
Oh, okay, but maybe that's not like
maybe that was
crowdsourced.
Maybe that was paid playtesters or something like that, or maybe they were QA. I don't remember. Maybe I could be off.
Yeah, I think. Oh, actually, it was called the Burst.
The Burst,
but she was called the Architect. Otherwise,
the Burst or the Architect. Same person.
She was called the Architect in like the monologue. That's where.
Yeah, that's right. The chain, the strap, the line, the scale, the hand, the song, the burst, the edge, the beat, the flame, the star. Bernard. Yeah, I feel like Bernard's definitely the rabbit guy. I liked some of the cutscenes with the rabbit where he would just appear multiple times while you're walking.
Oh, I think it was kind of cool how he was just like, as the camera pans, he's just in a different place. That's kind of cool.
Like almost a figment of your imagination or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think... I mean, that's... I feel like a good chunk of it. Look, we started playing New Game Plus, and it's cool because both the chain and the strap were considerably more difficult in New Game Plus. And so you honestly sort of get 2 runs out of this game if you want to really run it to the end, difficulty-wise, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're not going to get like unique mechanics, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Which I think this game was actually really good in terms of unique mechanics. I think all the boss fights felt quite different.
Yeah, I agree. Which is... I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It is really nice playing a game that just has a very concise scope that allows the developers to really flesh out the ideas and concepts that make the game so good. So I honestly think that the shorter the game is, the better, as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah, I think the thing about all the bosses though is that sure you can have a lot of unique mechanics, but sometimes the mechanics themselves aren't particularly, they don't really work. They're not really fun or really change the fight much. Which I think with this game was actually not true. I think almost every boss, their gimmick played pretty well into it, and it was quite effective. Yeah. The only boss I think is really the Architect, the sniper lady. I think that was kind of lame, but other than that, I think every boss.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Agreed. Some really really awesome set pieces.
Yeah.
I'd love to see how.
Do you want to give the game a score?
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's intense pressure. Quickly before we do it, I just wanted to say that I'd love to see the project because it's Unity. The lighting is pretty stylized. The environments, I wonder how much is procedural and how much is just baked. Because also really quickly, the character design was really cool. Like the similar way to you saying that the characters felt like they had their own distinct flavors of environment, of gameplay, of mechanics. I also think the character design was quite good. They all were very distinct. Yes, and regarding a rating and a recommendation, I suppose. Would I recommend this game? If you enjoy difficult boss fighter hack and slashes, this is a really, really good one. I think the other ones that I've played don't boil down the best parts of this genre as well as Furi does. I think Furi does it in a really, really incredible way. I haven't played a whole lot of them, may I add, but regardless, I would recommend it. It's not a long game. If apparently average playtime is 6 hours or something, so you can get it done in. Maximus across from this digital table is giving me a look of, I'm not sure how one would describe this look, of suspicion, of
6
contempt.
I'd place it closer to 10.
Yeah, fair enough. But
actually, I think when I was talking to Gabe about the playtime, he said that it's probably not possible to do within 6 hours on your first playthrough.
Really? Wait.
Oh, maybe not 6. I think he said maybe 5 or 4. So very, very impressive that you did it in like 3.
3.5. 3.5. I don't know. It was just how it shaked out.
It's like the bosses themselves. Oh, it was specifically that he said that it's literally impossible to do in 2 hours.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because it takes that long.
Yeah. I wonder how the speedrunners work. If they just teleport from boss to boss, like time-wise.
It's just like a skip boss button.
No. Like they don't have to do the cutscenes or anything. There might be a speedrun mode where as soon as you beat a boss, you're instantly fighting the next boss.
I think that's the
yeah.
case.
Okay. Because I was seeing numbers that are like 30 minutes and stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking that doesn't sound possible.
Another fight.
But yeah, another fight mode. Yep. Would I recommend it? I would recommend this game. It's not that long. It is a very fun, concise experience, and you can knock it out of the park in a couple weeks or a day if you're feeling zealous. If you've got some free time. If you got some free time,
I'd say in 1 weekend you could.
In 1 week, I mean that's true. I'm just giving. Look, the listeners may have stuff going on in their life, and they might not be able to play games as frequently as. That said, the kids are always on their damn phones. Okay, replace your phones with this Furi time, people. This is good shit. Anyway, I'll give it.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. You say your piece first.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think this is a really good game to play if you're into video games as like a kind of rating them, you know, and learning from them, you know, for how to make a game.
Interesting.
I think for a game developer, because I think a lot of the things that it does well are very clear, and you can kind of learn from it pretty well. But I think it's also quite clear the shortfalls. You can definitely tell and feel, like you can very much feel them. So I think it's a good game to learn from.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Are we evaluating it based on the price tag as well?
I think that's lame, so no.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
If you see the gameplay and you think you might like it, I'd recommend it. If you don't play games like this, maybe not. That's, I guess, pretty surface level advice, but yeah. What would your ranking be, Max? Because then I can gauge my ranking off of your ranking, so I don't look too crazy.
Okay. Is this a game ranking just in general, like an overall?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if rating systems are that useful because everyone.
I would give Furi a 7.5.
A solid 7.5.
That's a strong 7.5.
That's a strong 7.5.
Keep in mind, I would rate things on somewhere between a bell curve and a uniform distribution.
Between those two.
Somewhere between there.
As in theory, most would. Nah, actually, I think most people rank
much more of a uniform scale unless it comes to the very
I
extreme.
think people rarely rate anything below a 5.
Oh, certainly. The average is like 7. However,
average.
I think
Yeah.
maybe even scale it down to a 7. And then I would say that's the rating of Fury on a bell curve. But not relative to all games. That'd be ridiculous. Games that I've played.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid, a strong 7. Strong 7.5.
Strong 7.
I was hoping to be a bit more contrarian, but I think this game is probably not one to make enemies. You know what I mean? I think it's probably relatively genuinely appealing.
It's true. I think it does its things that it does well.
Exactly.
Very satisfying,
Yes.
very clean gameplay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not life-changing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there can only be so many life-changing games, and that's
true.
not a standard game developers can or should hold themselves to.
I think they should make a few more life-changing games, but that's just me.
Yeah, but that's starting from an
Also,
I think I
there's
misunderstood
nothing
the
in this
sarcasm.
game-
Sorry, carry on.
This never quite made me go, wow, you know?
Fair enough.
So it was just like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good.
I
yeah.
did go wow in the cutscene on the way to the mothership. I was like, that's awesome. That's really cool, because they were dropping lines all throughout the game, like, you're not human, you're not human, or you're not one of us,
Very
or
subtle.
whatever. Anyway, I thought it was
space racism.
Yeah, there we go.
Actually, though, like the jailer says like some space racist things.
Really?
The very first boss. Yeah, the tutorial boss.
Yeah, right.
Like, if your kind can even feel pain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Robot racism, apparently. Anyway, that's the time I did go wow, because I did not expect there to be that much content after. I thought that was just a closing cutscene. I did not think there was going to be another boss.
I was spoiled.
Oh really? Damn.
Well, you guys told me not to skip the thing.
And I told.
Okay, well, there's another boss fight.
Oh right, I guess so. That's true. My bad. My BG.
Yeah, maybe this was a 7.5 already.
Maybe.
And yet you ruined it.
Yeah.
Lost
that.
Maybe actually this was such a wow moment that it would have been a 10.
Maybe. No. I'm putting it at 7.5. I'm comfortable with that.
I'm giving it a 7.
I'm okay.
I'm giving it a
so
7.
that 0.5 difference is the wow factor of that final reveal. Okay. But you still got the reveal. You just knew a reveal was coming, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's settled. 7.5.
I'll give it 7 faster than lights.
7 faster than lights. This game is worth faster than lights 7 times.
No, that's not the case.
No, 7. I see. 7 tenths.
Each review
7 tenths
is going to be a new indie game that I like, that I'm going to put as the review
I see.
standard.
Okay, well,
7 faster than lights out of 10. 7
faster than lights out of 10. This will be 7.5, not without my poops, out of 10.
Very true.
A very, very good game. I'm just going to throw that one in there for people to check out. Yeah, that's the game. Thank you for joining us on this fruitful discussion about Furi, developed by, I should know their name. I should really know their name. Furi Game Developers. This is really unprofessional. I'm really sorry. The Game Bakers. Furi by The Game Bakers. Next month, or this month, if you wanted to join along in our game club, we will be playing The Case of the Golden Idol. And I'm looking forward to it. Enough to be said there.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting.
Very interesting. From, I'd say, a very different style from Furi. If you don't, potentially as vast a genre and style change as one could be. So maybe we'll try and keep that up. Keep bouncing around, ping-ponging around the Steam store.
Make it interesting games. Make it interesting games.
Sweet. Well, that was us, Ari and
Maximus,
signing out from Bedhead Studios podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Hand-do-do-do.
We'll see you next week.